Hi everybody, it's Shauna with New to the Country Life, and today we're going to be pouring dominoes. This set that I have, they refer to them as Cuban, or I've also heard them called Mexican train dominoes. And what it is 91 pieces instead of the smaller sets, and it goes up to a double 12. So it has the double zeros and it goes up to double 12s. Today we're going to be doing it using glitter called blue steel, and I've referred to it as gunmetal, but the actual name when you order it is from Bitty Bugs Blue Steel, and that's what we're going to be putting in our resin today. So let's get started mixing. We're going to be using KS resin. Today we're using the liquid art epoxy, and I'm going to start by mixing 8 ounces of it. I don't like to mix any more than 8 ounces at a time because you can get a reaction where it cures instantly in your cup, and that is not desired. So we're doing 4 ounces of part A and 4 ounces of part B. And we're going to mix this thoroughly. In my other videos, if you've watched them, you'll notice I like to use a bamboo chopstick to stir with. I like this kind because it has this little end on it that works like a paddle in there and stirs it nicely. So we're going to mix this until we don't see any. First it'll get cloudy and then it'll turn clear, and we mix it even after it turns clear to make sure there's no wispies in there. Because that's unmixed resin and it won't cure properly if you have that. It takes approximately 3 minutes to mix, so I'm going to pause this video and we'll come back after I have it mixed. Okay, so we're back and we have our mix is very clear, and it does have bubbles in it, but we're going to take care of those in a minute. That won't hurt anything right now. We're going to start by mixing in the glitter, and I mix in quite a bit because we don't want our dominoes to be able to be seen through it all. So it's quite a bit. So that's probably a quart, maybe a third to half the bottle I put in there. And what we're doing is getting that super thick so that when it dries, you won't be able to see through the dominoes and cheat that way. And we just mix this thoroughly in. Make sure it gets all the way down in there into the bottom mixed. And the glitter kind of has a way of popping the bubbles on its own because they're little sharp things. And they pop the bubbles, but what doesn't pop and rises to the surface afterwards, we're going to pop using alcohol in a spray bottle. And I just clean off my bamboo stick with a napkin. I use shop towels because they're a little hardier than regular napkins used for your kitchen. And as you can see, it cleans off nicely. Okay, next we're going to start pouring our dominoes. We're going to start right here, and I'll pour a couple just to show you. This particular set is a special order, and it's going to have a logo on the back of a person's cattle brand. So we're not going to pour these all the way full. We're going to pour them about 2/3 full, and then I'll be showing you how to put the vinyls on it, and then a final clear coat so that the vinyls are protected. But to get started, we'll just pour a few of these, and then we'll pause and come back after they've sat for a day. So tomorrow we'll come back and do the vinyls, and after the vinyls are done, we'll do the clear coat. But just to show you how I do it, I just carefully pour it in, and like I said, I'm not filling them all the way this time, so you don't have to be too careful. This will self-level. We're only pouring them about 2/3 of the way. And then we'll use a popsicle stick and spread them out, make sure that it's spread. It doesn't spread as good when there's glitter in it because it makes it thick. I'll get this tray poured, and then I'll show you with the popsicle stick how we make sure there's no voids in it and how we take care of the bubbles. If you get a little too much, we can take a little out using a popsicle stick, so it's not a big deal. But just don't overfill it like crazy. Now, if you're not putting something on the back at this point, what you would do is fill them up level and then let them sit for a day, and then you can take them out. And I have another video in my list showing how to, an easy way that I found to paint the dots in, so you can check that out too. So most people that do resin have popsicle sticks. You can do that with these. So I'm just going to show you how to push it around with that. And I'm just making sure I fill in all the corners. Some of it levels out on its own just fine, and some of it don't. So you just kind of push it in. Okay, so we'll come back tomorrow when I have all these poured, and we'll pick up from there. Okay, we're back. These are dried, so they're hard. And on my Cricut, I cut out the little things that I'm putting on each one. And this is a brand, a lady's cattle brand. And up close, that's what they look like. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting each one out. They're really tiny, so I cut them out, I peel the paper, and I stick it to the domino, and I just line them up the best I can in the center. And the way that I'm doing it is I'm using one I've already made because it's got that center line, and I'm just putting them just above it so that they all, you know, are uniform and kind of look the same. So I just am using that to line them up. I'm doing it by eye. You're never going to get them all perfect unless you're just crazy and using rulers and stuff, but these all turn out looking really nice this way. And then, so you have to kind of, they call it brandishing it. So you rub on the sticker itself, and then I'm using these tweezers to grab the edge and pull them up. And this is very time consuming, so you have to be very patient. Get a hold of it and peel carefully so that you don't peel the sticker off itself. And so there's 91 in this set, so I have to do this 91 times. I've already finished one tray of them. This is my second, and I've got a big tray and 2 more this size to go. I'll get that done, and then we'll come back and we'll do the final coat of clear, which will seal those in and protect them. So be right back. Okay, we're back, and we have all the little stickers on, and I'm just finishing mixing up some clear resin that we're going to cover them with, and we're just mixing until this is clear again, and there will be bubbles, but we'll take care of those in the end. So we're just getting it all mixed really good. And I'm going to switch out my bamboo for a popsicle stick because I need a little bit wider than this is. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to control how much goes in there using the popsicle stick pretty much. So I'll be putting it on the popsicle stick and kind of dragging it into each one because I really don't want to overfill them. When you overfill them, then that means you have to break them apart at the end and clean them with a knife, and It's just a lot easier if you're careful to start with and don't have to do that in the end. So we're gonna try it out and try to be clean about it. Okay, so this is clear and I'm not seeing any strings through it or wispies or whatever you want to call them. Everything's mixed really nicely. It does have bubbles, but like I said, I'll show you how to take care of that in the end here. And let's see, I'm gonna push this one over here so it's kind of out of my way, and we're gonna start with let's see if I can get this where you can see it perfectly. We're going to start with this corner up here and work this way so that I'm not putting my arm over top of these and getting resin on my arm. So here we go. I'm going to try to turn this a little bit so you can see it, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some on here and use it almost as a spoon and dribble it into each of the squares. And we'll see how that works. If that's not fast enough, then we'll see it if we can figure a different way, but I think this is going to work perfect. And what I'm doing is just pushing it up to the edge to make sure it's level in there, because you don't want it below the level. It leaves a little ridge on it, and it's uncomfortable to hold them when they have the ridges like that. So we're just making sure it's full enough, and it's kind of hard to see with the clear. So I use a work light right over, and I just move that light to where I need it so that I'm sure that I'm seeing everything. And it's kind of time consuming, but it's the right way to do it. Take your time and make a nice set. And as you're going, make sure that you're not getting like hairs in them or anything weird that you're gonna see through it, because this is clear on this side. So we're just going to continue to do this. I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera, and I'll come back when I've got this all done and show you how to spritz it with the alcohol spray to get rid of the bubbles that rise to the top. And then we'll check it again when we're all done. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so we've got this one poured, and I just want to quickly show you. I'm using 91% rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol in a little spray bottle, and I just want to show you that when you spray it on here, all the bubbles pop. So that's how we take care of the bubbles in something thin like this. That way you don't have heat from fire, torch, light, or whatever touching your mold and ruining your mold. So that's just a little tip. Next time you see these, we'll be popping them out and painting dots. And yeah, so join me in the next little section. Hi everyone. Excuse me. I'm back, and I've pulled all of the pieces out of the molds. So we have very nice clean pieces, and they look really good with the logos on the back. So now I'm going to show you real quick how to paint the dots on them. And I just want to show you how nice these look. They turned out really pretty. Now we're going to start painting the dots on the back. And to do that, the best way that I've found is using fingernail polish, and I just get the LA Colors. They're like $1 a bottle, and be sure not to get the gel one. Get the one that tells you that it's nail lacquer. The lacquer is a paint, and they use it like on fishing lures. I think car models and stuff like that use it. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a small cup, because you don't want this to dry out too fast, and just pour a tiny little bit in, and then be sure and put your cap and stuff back on so that you don't ruin your bottle. And this little tool you find in the paper craft section at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, places like that, and I'm sure you can find them on Amazon. They have a big ball on one end and a very fine ball on the other end. And for the dots, what we're going to do is dip into that, and then you have a very steady hand and you just dip in. And these dominoes, because it's such a big set, have 2 different size holes. One of them, this fits in perfect. The other one's bigger, so you put it in and you move it around to fill in the whole dot. And then you can go back and do like a quality control check. So this is one that I painted earlier, and if you see, I hope you can see it on there, there's a little place in here where it didn't cover very good, so I'm just going to go back and fill that in so it's nice and clear. Let them dry, and then if you have any excess that got on it, like right here there's a little dot, you can literally take your fingernail and scratch it off the top, and it looks perfect when it's done. So that's one that I've done already, and this one's one with the bigger holes, so you can see when I put that in there, it doesn't fill the whole thing up. So then I put it and I just kind of go around like that. So let's do a couple, and then I'm gonna end the video, and that'll be it for this set. So as you can see, they're really hard to see. I use a light and I just kind of move it so I can see there's no holes in this end. There's a bar in the middle, and then there's big holes on this end. There's 6 of them. So let's do the big hole first. So I've got a little bit on my end. I'm going to drop it in the middle, and I'm just going to spread it around. And for these bigger ones, sometimes you have to do 2, but you can see that fills it in very nicely. It is time consuming, but it works better than any other method that I've found so far. And because it's an enamel paint, once it dries, it won't chip out or anything like that. They stay really nice. So see, I got a little excess there. I could either leave it and come back and clean it up later, or what I like to do is I just kind of rub in toward the center of the circle, and it takes all that off, and then I don't have that work later to do. So I'm going to finish this one, and then that'll be the end of this video. Please like, subscribe, leave comments. If you have a different way of doing any of this, I'm always open to suggestions, because from you guys sometimes I learn a technique that I hadn't thought of or didn't know, and I very much appreciate the input. So there we go. And with that one in the center, I use the small, and I just kind of get in there and I just kind of paint it in a little at a time. And it does, like I said, it doesn't matter if it gets on the top part, the edges, because it cleans off super simple with just a fingernail, and it doesn't scratch the domino, and it looks nice. And I just kind of do the same. I rub toward the center of it. Anything that's left on there excess wise will come off after it's completely dry, and it'll be a beautiful finished product. So again, thanks for watching. I hope this video is helpful for you guys.